Hello, and a good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening to you, the good and wonderful people of the tube. Hope well today, hope you're feeling grand, and us when you world. Hello there, everybody. Today, people of tube, we are doing a amp shootout between the Fender Bassman Tone Master and the Fender Deluxe Reverb Amp Tone Master series. Main reason for this is, I don't know which one of these I like more. And you've already seen the video of my top 10 amps. So this video was filmed before that video, but I'm releasing it afterwards, if that makes any sense. It does in my head. Let's just say that. Anyway, but a lot of things make sense in my head that maybe shouldn't in real life. Anyway, I don't know which one I prefer. And I really want to know what your opinion is on this as well, YouTube. You know, which one would you prefer if you could have one, which one would you have? So, and the main reason I'm doing this is because I've been compiling a list of my top 10 favourite amps that I own. And I'm like, I could only pick one to get in the top 10. Otherwise, it'd be like a top 15. And I want it to be a top 10 because, you know, it has to be, doesn't it? Anyway, that aside. So, today we're going to do a bit of a shootout here, YouTube. We're going to go straight in to start with. And we're going to go for a clean sound. Like, totally clean. And then we go for a distortion sound. I'm going to use my Les Paul for that. And then I'm going to put my pedal board into it as well. Well, my smaller pedal board, my mini board, into it. And then I'm going to listen to them back and see which one I prefer. As usual, PeopleTube, let me know your thoughts on which one you would have and why in the comment section below once you've heard it. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on with this. Quickly, let me tell you how I've got the amp set. So you're going to hear the Bassman first, that's on the green here, on the Daily switch, and then you'll hear the Deluxe second. So, I have the Deluxe set, let's start there because I can see this one easier. Volume is on 2, treble is on 7, bass is on 4, reverb is on 4. Vibrato is just not on. We're into the vibrato channel because it's I prefer the vibrato channel to the normal channel. I know some people like the normal channel, I don't. I always use the vibrato channel. I just like the reverb. I like the way it sounds a little bit different. I like it more. So that's how I've got the Deluxe reverb set for clean. For the Bassman, I've got reverb up on 7 because the reverb's a bit weaker in this amp. Presence is at 5. Mids are all the way up on 12. Bass is at 3. Treble is at 5. Bright volume is at 7, and I have the normal volume at 3.5. And when I mean numbers, there, it's not 3. Like, it's not like 3 o'clock or anything like that. I mean basically it's pointing at the 3 on the dial. Same on this one. It's like, you know, it's pointing at 7. So that's what's going on there. So we're not using the clock system this time. So without further ado, let's get on with this. So going to play something on the Strat first, completely clean, neck pickup. Bassman to start. I'm just going to move a bit more out of the way. So let's go. Deluxe. Okay, so that's totally clean. I don't know. I don't know. I really like both. The Deluxe has more mid-range, even though the mids are completely cranked on the Bassman. But I don't know. I'd have to listen to that back a few times. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, PeopleTube, is we're going to crank these things. I'm going to put the attenuator on this so I don't die. Okay, we're going to switch to the Les Paul for this one because, like I say, if I'm going to be using these amps cranked, I probably won't be using a Strat. So, yep, we're alive. So, this is now the amps cranked up, basically. I'm going to go for my usual settings on them as well. So, we're kind of resetting the amps now as well. So, we've got volume up on 10 on the Deluxe, trebles at 6, bass is at 5, reverb's at 4. It's the Peter Green setting. The Bassman, I've got the normal volume all the way up. I've still got the bright volume in at 7 because it does something to the amp. I might show you that actually in a bit, people do. Trebles at 5, bass is at 1, mids are all the way up, and presence is at 5 as well, and I've got reverb at 7. So kind of basically the same EQ on the bass mode. Just crank the volume, kind of, apart from I turn the bass off because, you know, it gets bassy. Anyway, let's go for this now. So, let's move it more out of the way. So, both attenuators are on the first notch, but on the second notch over. The first notch tends to kind of kill the amps a little bit. One over sounds really, really good. Extremely loud though, still with the attenuator, but they sound fantastic. And like I say, if I'm going to use them cranked, this is how I'm going to play through. This is how I'd use it. I'd use a Les Paul. I like the humbucker sound through these things cranked more than a Strat. There's just something more about it that I like. You know, clean, Strat, Telecaster, Jaguar, yes, even a Les Paul. But when they're cranked, I just prefer when humbuckers feel. Anyway, this is the Bassman to start with. Actually, I think we can probably knock that one more notch. That's better. Okay, so Bassman first. Try a different EQ on that, people at YouTube. I'm not so keen on that. Hang on. That's better. I've got a different EQ now, so I wasn't too keen on that sound. It was a good sound, but I prefer that. So what I've done there is I've ditched the treble. Treble's now on 0, and I've boosted up the presence to 10. So basically, presence is at 10, middle's at 12, bass is at 1, treble's at 1, basically off. Bright volume is at 7, and normal volume is all the way up, and I have a reverb at 7. So let's try that again with a sound that I'm more happy with. Okay, here we go again. This is the Bassman. Well, I can play. Last chord. Anyway, Deluxe now. have no idea. The bassman's definitely got more gain in it. It really does. It's way more gain. Playing quicker through the bassman is a lot easier than the deluxe. The deluxe is a lot more unforgiving. I got the gain there. Yeah, that's a tough one, people of YouTube. I'm gonna have to listen to them together and see what's going on there, because I don't actually know. I really don't know. I really like both. That's the problem. But like I say, the problem is I do have amps I prefer to these two. So for the top 10 list to work, I need to decide. It's as simple as that. I don't know. The deluxe is definitely cleaner sounding. You can hear it's a lot more it's a lot cleaner sounding than the bassman. The bassman's got a lot more dirt to it. It's brasher as well. There's a lot more high end to the bassman. I think it's due maybe because it's got 4 10-inch speakers in relation to the 112 in the deluxe. I don't know, people with YouTube. I just don't know. Anyway, I'm going to have to listen to these. But first thing we're going to do now, I'm going to put my pedal board in, because I need to hear my pedals, because I want to know as well. So give me a second. I'm going to put my pedal board in. It's going to go here, and we'll flip back and forward between them two, and yeah, see which one takes pedals nicer. Yeah, they both take pedals really well, but see which one I prefer. This is tough, man. This is really tough. This isn't just kind of like, yeah, that one. You know. Oh, quickly, I'll tell you what we'll do before we change to the pedal board though. Let's run them both together. I don't know if they're going to be in phase. They might not be, but who cares? Let's give it a go. Let's give it a go anyway. That's the sound, YouTube. I like that one a lot. Basically, I want both together as one amp. A deluxe bassman reverb would be the one there. Anyway, I'm gonna go a pedal board plugged in and let's give that a whirl. Okay, YouTube. So we have pedal board plugged in to both the amps through the Lazy Splitter. They're both set up to how I'd run these now with pedal boards. So the Deluxe is set up, volume is at 3, well, just over 3. Trebles at 6, no bass, reverb is at 4. The Bassman is set up with presence at 11, middle is all the way up on 12. Treble and bass are both set at 1. Bright volume is still at 7, and the normal volume is at 3 and a little bit. Okay, so jackhammer. This is kind of like my always on thing. Let's try that now with the Bassman. We'll flip between the two. Deluxe. This is tough, people, because they both sound really, really good. They really do. They both sound really nice. The cool thing is they both sound different, though. They're not the same sound. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's not like going, oh, well, that just sounds like that one. Even with pedals, the amps are still colouring the sound, which, again, is what you want. You don't want everything to sound completely homogeneous. Anyway, so what we're going to do now, we're going to go for my main room distortion sound, which is a Marshall Governor 2 Plus and the Marshall Jackhammer together. Volume on the guitar at 8, because I always turn down for rhythm. So let's give that a go. So the Bassman first, it's going to feedback, it's going to be great. Deluxe. And try the DS2. It's a tough one, people, too, but I think I might know which one I prefer on that one. But I reserve judgment for now because I want to hear it back. What's stuck in my pedal there? Something. I don't know what that is. Anyway, there we go. So, both amps are amazing. And before, hang on a sec, let's run both together with the mass distortion. So governor, jackhammer, volume on 8, both together. Okay, so I just quickly listening. I'm listening for note separation. I think the bassman's got better note separation. You can hear when I pick the strings. I think it sounds a bit clearer, or it does in the room anywhere. I hopefully it'll come across on phone cam. Okay, I don't know, PeopleTube. I really do not know. Okay, so that's all the things I'm going to do today, sound wise. Which one's your favourite? I'm going to go and have a listen to these now, and I'll be back to you, Mia. Give you Dave's final thought, but that is tough, man. I thought that was going to be a lot easier, and I was going to be like, yeah, that one. And I actually don't know. I know I'm leaning more towards the deluxe. I like the mid-range more. I like the certain things about like the pedal sound, definitely. I think I prefer through the deluxe. But the bassman's got better note separation. I mean, ideal world, both together. They sound amazing together. What a combination these two are. But I can only pick one unless I change my list, and that might have happened. I don't know. We'll if because the top 10 amp video's out already. And if they're both on the list, then I pick both. I scrapped something else. But they're both fantastic amps, PeopleTube. They really are. I love these Tone Master Series amps. They're so good. I've had this one since 2020, the Deluxe, and it's just such a great amp. I love it to bits. So I've had the Bassman for a bit, and I've gigged both as well. They've both been out live with me, and they've both not missed a beat live. They both sounded amazing live as well. So it's not like they're just home use amps. You know, these things have actually been out. They've actually been used. They've been thrown in the back of a van. They've been kind of abused and kicked about the place. You know, they've been on stages, multiple stages, both of them. And they've been used a fair bit. So, yeah, it's not like they've just been kind of babied at home. You know what I mean? They work live. And a lot of people use these things live now as well. You know, I've seen Mike McCready and Stone Gossard of Pearl Jam use it. One of the guitarists from My Chemical Romance uses it. I think he uses the Twin. Twin's a fantastic Tone Master. But these things are great. I mean, to me, Fender absolutely destroyed it with these things. They're so good. And like I say, if you want Peter Green's tone, the Deluxe Tone Master Reverb is where you need to be. That Bassman, though, sounds insane as well. But the thing is, I think I prefer the Bassman when it's cranked up with a Les Paul to anything else. Whereas the Deluxe seems to be a nice all-rounder. You know what I mean? You don't really have enough gain to plug... Well, you do if you've got a humbucker. Plug straight into it, you can kind of get away with it. But it is lower gain than the Bassman, and it leaves you nowhere to hide. The Bassman kind of almost covers your tracks a bit. Whereas the Deluxe doesn't. It'll expose you for what you are very, very rapidly. Whereas the Bassman kind of gives a little bit. It kind of shows mercy. Whereas the Deluxe definitely does not show mercy. Anyway, I'm going to go on, listen to these, and come back with my final thoughts in a bit once I've kind of mulled it over a bit. But like I say, at this point in time, I'm leaning towards more the Deluxe as like my all-rounder. But I don't know, because the Bassman sounds absolutely insane as well. PeopleTube, your thoughts, comment section below. Which ones do you prefer and why? You know, do you prefer the Deluxe or do you prefer the Bassman? Or do you prefer the Deluxe for pedals, the Bassman for straight in Bassman for clean, deluxe for distortion. Yeah, which one do you prefer? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm always curious to what people hear differently, because I love knowing. Like, I just love the fact that we all hear things differently, we all set things differently, we all kind of want different things. Because to me, the deluxe is giving me more of what I want. The only thing it's not giving me is a little bit more gain when I plug straight into the thing. But that's okay, because it makes you work for it. And that's not always the bad thing. I don't really like struggling and fighting with my guitars or my amps. I don't like the idea of that. It really kind of bugs me, to be honest with you. I've never liked the idea of just fighting for it. You know, I'm not one of those guitar players who I like things nice and easy, because I don't want to work hard. You know, I want to enjoy it. It's the BB King thing that he said to, you know, Billy Gibbons, why are you working so hard? You know, and exactly, yeah, why? So, yeah, I'm going to go and listen to this. I'll be back in a split second for you, but it'll be probably a few hours for me, because I'm going to have to really ponder this one. It might even be next week, I doubt it very much. But yeah, I'm going to go and have a listen to these people tube, and I'll be back in a bit to give you my final thoughts on which one I preferred and why. So, see you in a sec. Okay, YouTube, after a substantial amount of time of listening backwards and forth of which one do I prefer the most, I decided on the Bassman. I preferred the clean. I preferred the way this responded to my pedals to the deluxe. The only thing I love the deluxe for its cranked sound with Les Paul. I prefer that over the Bassman, but overall the Bassman does more of what I want. It really does. I love the deluxe to bits. I really do. It's fantastically amazing. I love this thing to bits. And this will be forever be my Peter Green amp, you know, no holes barred there. Because that doesn't sound like Peter Green. Not even close. It really doesn't. The Bassman does not have that sound. The deluxe has that sound. It is just the ultimate amp when it comes down to Peter Green for me. This thing here, it's fantastic. I say, especially with that setting of bass on 5, treble on 7, and 6, and the volume cranked. I think that's the EQ, right? I've got it written down on the back. Where are we? Yeah, 6, 5, 7. Yeah. So yeah, treble on 6, bass on 7, bass on 5, sorry, and then reverb on 7 for the slow blues. Turn it down to about 4 for the more rocky stuff. But yeah, this thing's fantastic for that. But it doesn't quite. When I hear it recorded, it's not there. You know what I mean? When I listen back to it, I'm like, it sounds fantastic. I do love it, but there's something in the mid range of this amp that kind of bugs me a little bit. It's great and nice and happy, but this amp doesn't have it. The Bassman doesn't have that mid range that this has. I don't know if you'll be able to hear that. You should be able to hear that on the thingies. But yeah, if I had to pick one, it has to be the Bassman. I love that thing. I really do. I love both of these, to be honest with you. I mean, I would love to crossbreed both and have it, like I say, as a Bassman Deluxe reverb. That would be an amp. But I can't. So if I was going to a gig and I had to pick one of these to go to a gig with, I would pick the Bassman. I love the way this responds with pedals. I love the way... I still love how this sounds plugged in. It's got teeth, man. It really does. And when you put a Strat into it cranked up, you kind of almost get that Rory Gallagher thing. You need a treble booster, but you almost get that Rory Gallagher early 70s thing when he had a bass, when he was using a Bassman. This sounds great with the Les Paul cranked up as well. I don't really like plugging straight into these two things with a Strat. With it cranked up, it's a bit too Steve Ray Vaughan-ish, and I don't like that sound. So I much prefer to, if I'm going to go flat out with these things, I much prefer a Les Paul to a Strat or anything Fender. It gets me down that kind of like territory that I just don't like the sound of. So I much prefer that kind of Les Paul-y sound with these cranked. But the cleans on the Bassman as well sound a little bit more open to me, a little bit more kind of like, you know, they breathe more. Whereas the Deluxe, although really good, again, that mid-range thing and it had kind of like clamped down on it a bit. Even though, you know, it wasn't horrific, it sounded amazing. But like I said, I'm getting nitpicky here. This is like little nitpicky things that my ear likes and what I like to hear in an amp. And like I say, what I get more of that out of the Basement than I do the Deluxe. Like I say, neither of these amps are going anywhere. They're just not. I'm keeping both because they're just both amazing. But if I had to grab one and go to a gig or like go to a recording or anything like that, I'd grab the Basement. I just like it. I can do more with that as well. Like, it's got more gain in it, which I like, because I'm a gain fiend. I like high distortion. I like mass gain. I like the reverb in this. I love the way I can jump the channels. I've got 4 speakers instead of 1. There's just something more in this than there is in this. And I really didn't expect that, because when I finished filming that last little video, I was like, I'm going to pick the Deluxe. I know I'm going to pick the Deluxe. And as I went backwards and forth with you, I was like, nope, Basement is doing it for me. It really is. Which I didn't see coming. I really didn't see coming. I'm a bit blown away and a bit frazzle-fried with that one, people with you. It's a bit confuzzling for me. But yeah, I didn't see that coming. There we go. So, like I say, if I had to grab one, it'd have to be a Defender Basement. So the Defender Basement will be ended up on my top 10 amps thing. Because, like I say, I always like an amp that I can do more with as well. I like versatility in amps. It's why I like the MG and the Katana and the CR120 and stuff like that. Amps that kind of give me multiple things that I love. You know what I mean? Like, there's not one thing in those amps that I kind of like dislike. And the Basement does that. Every sound I get out of the Basement, I love. I really, really like it. Whereas the Deluxe, I don't particularly like the pedal sound. It sounds good with pedals, but I prefer the Basement. I wouldn't complain if I had to turn up and use a Deluxe for a gig, and I have had to use a Deluxe for gigs. I wouldn't complain about it, but I prefer the Basement. And the same thing with kind of cleans, and for me, this is better than this for that Peter Green sound. That classic Les Paul into a Fender amp, dimed. The Deluxe has that. The Basement is a little bit more high gain, but that's more me. This is more Peter Green, that's more me. You know what I mean? So that's why. And again, this kind of my comparison was about kind of what I wanted to hear and what I liked more. And I prefer the Basement. The Deluxe is great for that Peter Green thing, but that's not me. That's Peter Green thing. That's a me thing right there. So anyway, YouTube, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Which one do you prefer and why? Did you prefer the Deluxe for clean or the Basement for clean or whatever? Let me know in the comment section below. I'll be curious to read your comments on this one. And other than that, thank you very much indeed. If you like the channel, like what I do here, please consider becoming a patron at Patreon. Links are in the description box below. As well as other links to other bits and pieces. And yeah, I'll see you again very soon for another video very soon. I swear I had something else to say, but I don't remember what it is. But yeah, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you again very soon. Also, another thing, people with YouTube, that somebody might notice, if not, the Basement looks slightly different to how it did when I first got it. I varnished it. I varnished the tweed. It came lacquered tweed, apparently, but it was very, very light lacquer. And in the first week of using this, I was using it for gigs at the time, I started to wreck the tweed already, and I was like, I've only had it a week, because it was getting pulled in and out, even with the cover of gigs and of venues and inside and out of the van and whatnot, and it was getting kicked about. So I decided to varnish it with really, really heavy kind of like gloss, well, not gloss varnish, but it came out glossy, and really heavy varnish, so just to protect the tweed a bit more. So it looks even more kind of yellowy orange now than it did when I first got it. Anyway, so that's why it looks like that. Anyway, thank you very much indeed for watching. I keep saying anyway, what's wrong with me? See you later. Have a great morning, afternoon, good evening. Goodbye now. Cheers for watching. Ha ha!